What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 166 of the Nerds Unite as One podcast. I'm your host, Paul English, and we have a great show for you. Like always, is the second of our episode of our interrogation series, revisiting our favorite video games of all time. And this time we're going to be talking about number 3 on our list. To help out with that, you have the amazing crew of regulars that you know and love. It's Colton, Jack, and Mike. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
More video games.
Yes, indeed. All right, so you know how this drill works. We're gonna get jumped right into this. So let's start off by saying what our third favorite video game is. Colton, what's yours?
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles.
Okay, Jack.
Mine is Superman 64.
Don't make me mute your ass.
Just kidding, it's Spider-Man, PS4.
Okay. Mike, what's yours?
Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMORPG.
Thank you for specifying. And mine is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. All right, Colton, we're going to come to you first. So you had Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, Jack, why don't you start us off? What is your first question?
Why is this your favorite Sonic game?
I love it. Hold on, I got some notes here. I love it for its production, you know. There's only a brief amount of story told on screen, but they actually do a lot with a little. You know, having each level lead into the next one made it so the tension built up with each stage. And the Chaos Emeralds now being an integral part of the story gave you an extra incentive to collect them. It's not just another day at the office for Sonic and Tails. This time it feels like everything is truly on the line. And the way it all concludes with the Death Egg Zone and with the Death Egg and Doomsday Zones was a great way to cap off the series.
All right, Mike, what's your first question?
Well, you specified Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So what part does Knuckles play in this game?
Knuckles' part is he's, well, like an idiot. He's been fooled into believing that Sonic and Tails are trying to steal the Chaos Emeralds from Angel Island in the Master Emerald and everything. So he plays the part of antagonist if you're playing as Sonic and Tails. But in the and Knuckles half, once again you actually get to see that Knuckles, while he's not the greatest judge of character, he is pretty fun to play as. Actually, you know, he's got his own set of special moves and his own pathways through Angel Island that separate him from the Sonic and Tails playthrough. So it's not like you're just doing a palette swap. He has his own unique style, where he's fighting off some of Robotnik's leftovers and whatnot, while trying to make sure that the Master Emerald still stays right where it is.
Okay, my first question, this is going to be a simple one. Am I correct in assuming that this is the game where Knuckles is introduced to the Sonic universe?
Correct.
All right. How would you say his entrance was? Did he make a good entrance, or was it very sloppy?
It's a pretty good entrance, actually. You know, the game begins with Sonic and Tails flying towards Angel Island. Then he goes supersonic in our first instance of continuity. Whereas, like in the last game, Sonic just inexplicably doesn't have the Chaos Emeralds anymore. But here, he still has them, so he goes super. He flies onto Angel Island to investigate. Then suddenly, boom! Knuckles appears right the hell out of nowhere, knocks the Chaos Emeralds out of Sonic. Then he grabs all of them, laughs evilly, and then runs up and is like, "Hey, what the hell? Get back here, Knuckles!" And then, you know, and the race is on. It's a very interesting way to introduce this new character. And for a while, he was pretty much the kind of the go-to rival character for Sonic until, you know, Shadow made his appearance in Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay, Jack, do you have another question?
So, is Knuckles the main villain of this game, or are there other big villains?
No, the main villain is still Dr. Robotnik. Knuckles is more just an unwitting pawn. He serves as, he provides several roadblocks for Sonic throughout, but he never does but he's not really never truly the bad guy, and his only boss fight is actually kind of an anticlimax, to be honest. And after that anticlimax, Knuckles realizes the error of his ways once he sees Robotnik, you know, stealing the Master Emerald right in front of him. And after that, he provides some aid for Sonic and Tails for the final stage before getting to be his own playable character in the second and the Knuckles portion of the game.
Okay. Mike, do you have another question?
Yeah. Is there a level in this game that you're not fond of playing through?
Yes, this is gonna be the obvious answer, but Carnival Night Zone. Not just for the infamous Barrel of Doom roadblock, but also because it just feels like a kind of a poor man's version of Casino Night Zone. It's just like where they're both just these theme parkish zones in the game from Sonic. Carnival Night was in Sonic the Hedgehog too. It's not awful, but it's just not all that interesting, I guess. And it also kind of really sticks out from the rest of the game. Like the rest of the game is more like levels are more like sort of these ancient sort of play worlds and what have you. And then suddenly we're right the hell in this carnival zone that Botnik should not have had time to build. So I'm like, what the hell? It's kind of weird to say the least.
Okay. My next question, my next question is this. The Sonic games are well known for having some exceptional music. How is the music in this game? And if memory serves me right, is this not the game where Michael Jackson composed the music, or am I thinking of another one?
I think this is the game, but I've heard some like really weird, like, conflicting opinions on just how much involvement he had. But this is still the one. But you are right in saying that this is the one that you are thinking of the right game regarding his involvement. But yeah, the music is definitely like exceptional, and there's a lot of remixes to it. Like my first playthrough was on the Sonic and Knuckles collection, which kind of changed the music up a bit. But in my opinion, it was actually kind of the better soundtrack. But the Genesis versions of the soundtracks are also great too. My favorite tracks are probably Doomsday Zone, Flying Battery Zone, Angel Island, and Hydra City.
Okay. Jack, do you have a final question?
Yeah, what's your favorite level in the game?
All right, my favorite level in the game is Flying Battery Zone from the second portion of the game, which is the and Knuckles app. But yeah, real quick, the game is sort of introduced lock-on technology where you could merge Sonic 3 with Sonic and Knuckles because they are originally envisioned as one big game, but due to time constraints, they had to split them up, but then they went back and merged them together. So anyway, Sonic Flying Battery Zone is my favorite because for starters, like I said, it's got great music that really makes you feel like you are flying who knows how many feet in the air in a flying fortress. And compared to many of the other one false step and you're dead levels, this one feels truly challenging.
Okay. Mike, do you have a final question?
No, it seems pretty good, pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, I do not have one either. So, Colton, you are off the hot seat. All right, and Jack, you are up. Colton, I'm going to let you have the first question. Go ahead.
Yeah,
All right. I feel ashamed of saying this, but I have no idea what this game is about. So, like, how would you describe this game to a newcomer to appeal to them?
One thing that's great
Spider-Man
about
2, but better.
but one of the things that's great is there's already a universe established in this, so it's not like you're beginning to play as Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man's been around, he's had interactions with a lot of his villains already. You're playing a seasoned Spider-Man. The web slinging is amazing. Like they made it so it'll actually lock onto things instead of in other games where you could swing like through just air, which never made any sense.
That reminds me of Spider-Man 3 for the PS3, where like in the tutorial mode, what's his name? Bruce Campbell's like, and no, you can't just swing from midair. You're nowhere near that good yet.
All right, Mike, what's your first question?
Well, I have played this game. And I love it as well. One of the big benefits of this game is that it has a lot of nice side characters. What's one of your favorite side characters in the game?
I really like Yuri, Yuri, the police captain. I think she has a nice relationship with Spider-Man, and it's cool because she's kind of like the Gordon to the Batman, which we've never really had in any of the Spider-Man media. We've had it in the comics, but nothing in the media. So it's really cool.
What's really cool is actually the voice of Spider-Man and the voice of Yuri actually married in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. So my first question, and I also have this game. I've played it and I absolutely love it. A lot of games that have like side quests can often come off as like the side quests can often come off as really annoying. But I found all the side quests in this game absolutely fun, and there was purpose to each one. Was there a particular side quest in this game that you thought was particularly well done over the others?
I'm trying to think of someone what the side quests were besides Screwball, which got annoying after a while.
Mm,
Um, I thought the ones that involved the Kingpin's men were always a lot of fun.
okay.
Like going to the different Fisk bases and just taking a bunch of Fisk dudes out, really sticking at the Kingpin.
Nice. All right. Colton, do you have another question?
So I'm assuming that, this being a Spider-Man game, there's a wide array of combats and power-ups and everything. Do you have like a favorite move that you like to use when playing?
Well, one of the things that was new for this game was they gave you a lot of different gadgets, which we've never really had in Spider-Man games. There's webbing, there's impact webbing, you can electrocute guys. So stuff like that was always a lot of fun. And then you got with each suit, you got a different suit power. My favorite was Web Blossom, where Spider-Man would make a really big thing of webs and web up like a ton of guys.
I'm a fan of that one too.
That sounds pretty cool.
It is. It's so much fun. Mike, do you have another question?
I'm sure I can't. I'm sure I'll come up with another one, but I can't think of one right now. So go. You can go ahead.
All right. My next question is this. Obviously, you can't really obviously you can't. I don't think you can have a Spider-Man story without him dealing with some romance issues, and naturally, with an older seasoned Spider-Man, we have an older seasoned Mary Jane Watson. How did you like this portrayal of MJ, of everyone's favorite feisty redhead?
It was okay. It's a little different making her like a reporter, which we've never really seen ever. But it was okay. Her missions were really annoying though.
Yeah. All right. Colton, do you have a final question?
Yeah. Did you have a favorite, part of the story in the game? Like not like a favorite level, just like, the favorite part of just a favorite story beat or whatever?
Probably favorite story was when you finally get to see the Sinister Six, which is always a treat.
You can imagine.
Oh, yes, indeed. Mike, do you have one?
I do. I came up with one.
Okay.
This movie, it was kind of a movie-ish game, but this game had a lot of really kind of cool villains, and beyond just Fisk. You also had like the Mr. Negative. Was there a particular villain that you liked dealing with?
Mr. Negative, honestly, because I'm a big fan of him from the comics, and he hasn't really been in a lot of media outside the comics. Like he's been in like a TV show or show, but he's never been in any of the video games. So it's cool to interact with him and his dual personalities.
Okay. I don't have a final question. Mike, do you have one, or are we done?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Jack, you're off the hot seat. Mike, you're up. Now you have Star Wars: The Old Republic from BioWare. Right?
Yes. Give me 1 second, though. I think my cat wants to come back in. Hold on.
Okay. All right. Well,
That darn cat.
Cat's always causing problems for him. I have no idea why. All right.
Speaking of cats, I can see yours in the background.
Yeah, that little fur ball is just lounging about right there.
Oh, Colton, you're the only one who Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm ashamed I haven't played it.
Well, you don't have a PS4, do you?
No, I don't. I've been meaning to get. I've been meaning to get. Like, wait, where are we right now? Are we still on the PS4, or are we like?
Oh, PS5 is out now. In fact, here's my suggestion: once it drops down in price, get the Spider-Man Miles Morales game because it includes the Spider-Man game on it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm still
All right.
trying to get a hold of a PS5 myself.
Last time I played
wait
PlayStation,
till like August. It'll be more available by then.
last time I played with the PlayStation, we were still on the PlayStation 3.
Which I still have mine, by the way. Okay, so Mike, you have Star Wars: The Old Republic from BioWare, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right, Jack. You're going to go first on this one. What's your first question for our Mike?
So when does this game take place?
This takes place about rough guesstimate about 900 to 1,000 years before the episode 1. But not quite as far back as like the Knights of the Old Republic games. Like Knights of the Old Republic, I think is about 13 to 1,200 years before. So this is about 200 years after those.
If I recall correctly, doesn't it take place sometime between the second and the third Sith War?
It sounds about right. Yeah, I don't know the exact time frame, but it's so somewhere around there. There is still an entire Sith Empire out there, so it's before the Rule of Two has been instituted.
Wait, how many Sith Wars have there been?
3, to my knowledge.
That's not my question.
Colton, what is your first question?
Okay, my question is, well, with everything in Star Wars, it always builds up. We always get more and more stuff. We always learn more about, the universe and everything. What would you say is your favorite new piece of lore we got in this game?
I really liked how it kind of delved into this very very much a Cold War between the Sith Empire and the Republic. And depending on which side you're in, you get to see different, like if you're on this one of the Sith classes, then you can actually see how their kind of society is built and how they kind of deal with trying to get land, get power and infiltrate the Republic while still trying to keep the peace. It's very very much a Cold War. USSR, USA. Yeah, we're not at war, but we're still gonna kind of needle you and try and get information, try and get stuff away from you without being blatant about it. That's kind of where this game is set.
Cool.
Okay. So I have to be honest, Mike. One of the motivating factors of me dropping a whole lot of money to get my new setup that you're seeing in my new PC is that I wanted to play this game for a long time. I have a friend who has it. I played it a little at his house. I loved it. My laptop couldn't support, but now I can play it. Haven't gotten to it just yet, but I will at some point. So my first question is, obviously, when you talk about MMO RPGs, which this game is, the definitive one that everyone knows is World of Warcraft. How would you say this game compares, like, plus or negatively to World of Warcraft? Is it similar? Is it different? How so?
Well, I can't speak totally enthusiastically about that because I've never really I've like started playing World of Warcraft once, but I never really got too far into it. This is honestly the only MMORPG I've ever really kind of gotten into and stuck with for a while. In fact, I bought the collector's edition when it was first launched. I even got the
I'll be right back.
Okay, I got a statue of Darth Malgus over there still. But so I can't say like how World of Warcraft is, but this one it's fully voiced. So all the characters and all the side characters have actual voice actors behind them, which is really nice. And I know World of Warcraft does not do that. It only has voices for like the main characters. But it's the thing, like you don't have to play with other players. I mean, it does work very well as a single player game. There are some missions that if you want to play through them and beat them, you will need help because the enemies are just too high level. But if you just want to like stick to the main storyline and play through that, you can do it just fine on your own. Very very few of the actual story missions require other people to help you out. So I like that feature because yeah, I like playing with other people, but most of the time I like playing by myself, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while Paul's gone, I'll just pick up where he left off. So we'll go on to you, Jack. What's your next question?
I know it takes place in the past, but are any of the classic characters that we know of in this game?
No. This game takes place even before Yoda was born. So, I mean, there are a couple of characters like there is a character that is Yoda's species that you meet with I think I might be getting this confused with Knights of the Old Republic, but no, yeah, no, there are no characters. This is far enough removed where none of the characters that we see in the movies or TV shows have any link to this game. And I think that was done on purpose, just so you didn't have to be like a super uber fan to understand, oh wait, this character deals with this character, so I got to deal with this. It's I don't know anything about the movies. I know this, I can play this game and not be lost.
All right, my apologies, gentlemen. I'm back. What I miss?
Jack just asked Mike if any old characters, any familiar characters appeared in the game.
Okay.
All right.
All
so you can go ask your question now.
Oh, did you already ask yours?
I haven't asked mine yet.
Go ahead. You're next.
Okay, then my next question is, so in Star Wars, the Force is a textbook case of new powers as the plot demands. So are there any cool new Force powers introduced in this game?
Yeah. I mean, especially on the Sith side, there's like a life drain, so you can actually steal HP from a creature, and there's force force roar, where you actually just and it's just
like what Palpatine did in 3.
Oh,
He did?
it?
Yeah, that was a force roar.
Oh wow. Okay.
And people act like Force healing is a silly power.
I mean, and like if you're a Sith Inquisitor, then I personally like all the Force Lightning moves. I mean, there's the sustained Force Lightning, but there's also just like shooting a quick shock ball that just like spreads out to nearby enemies, and there's calling down just like a Force Lightning storm that does really nice area damage. Cool. Very, very useful if you've got a band of enemies that haven't noticed you yet.
Okay. So my next question is this: during the brief periods I did try it at my friend's house, I found it much easier to be a blaster wielding character start than to jump into a lightsaber wielding character. Do you find there's a difference in gameplay difficulty from being a blaster wielding character as opposed to a Jedi or a Sith?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hold on one second. All right, come on. Yeah, you know you want to. Yeah. He does it all the time.
He loves you.
Yes, I know he does. I love him. It's see as far as like the classes go, with the Jedi class, there's like the Jedi Warrior, Jedi Knight, which is much more of a melee class, and then there's the Jedi Consular, which tends to be more of a force distance using. Can pick up the rocks or pull like metal things out of the wall and throw them at characters. So each one has kind of both a distance and a close combat version. I personally do kind of prefer the distance classes. My favorite is the Imperial Agent class, just because they've got a move that you can start off where you just like lay down a cover fire. Both the Imperial Agent and the Smuggler class have that move, but I find the Imperial Agent's cover fire move immensely more powerful. And 9 times out of 10, I can finish off the battle before it even starts. Really, you just mow them down, and before they can charge at you, they're dead. Yeah, the close melee classes, there's really no way to kind of, I mean, you can jump at them and attack them to start, but then there's really no kind of area effect moves. There's more like anything around you move, and that makes it a little bit more tedious because you have to get into every battle. There's no finish before it started thing. But so yeah, I guess I do prefer kind of range classes over melee classes.
Okay. Excuse me. Jack, do you have a final question?
Yeah. What's the most annoying enemy in the game? One that's always a pain in the ass that you can't just punch or shoot. You gotta do something special.
There are some. I'm really not a fan of fighting Gundarks. They're big, huge, hulking brutes. They typically stay on an Imperial planet, so you mainly deal with them as an Imperial. But they love to like march up on you because they can soak up a lot of damage before they go down. They march up on you, and then they do an attack that just knocks you like yards away. And in some areas, if they do that, you actually fall down a cliff, and that can take you out of the game right off the bat. Stop, Kitty! Stop! No, you're trying to hang yourself, Kitty. Stop it! Ugh.
Don't hang Kitty.
I don't
Kitty,
want
don't
to. He jumped down and had this.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying
with him.
don't hang yourself.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say like a lot of like the big beast creatures that you find on the Imperial the Imperial homeworld are really irritating to fight, and unfortunately, you have to fight a lot of them.
Okay, Colton, do you have a final question?
No, I'm good actually. My questions have all been answered through this.
Okay, I got one more. So I haven't downloaded it just yet. I haven't installed it just yet. I haven't created an account or anything yet. But when I do, obviously, I'm going to be playing with my friend who introduced it to me. Do you want to play it too with me, Mike?
Oh hell yeah! Of course I do.
All right. May need your help to walk me through a few things, but yes, I can't wait to play the game.
Yeah, pretty much all my characters are like level 70 or higher. So yeah, anything you need help with, I can pretty much help you out with.
Awesome. All right, you're off the hot seat, Mike.
Cool.
I guess I am. Quick reminder, mine is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Colton, I'm going to start with you again on this one. What's your first question?
All right. Well, first off, how far have you gotten in the Assassin's Creed series? Like, have you played most of the games?
I stopped after 3. I haven't played anything past 3.
All right, then what makes this game your favorite of the Assassin's Creed games you've played?
In all seriousness, it's my favorite because of where it takes place, Rome. And as you know, I am a huge history buff. I love ancient Mediterranean history, and Rome is on my #1 vacation destination place. That is the one place I want to vacation to more than any place. I would love to go visit Rome one day, and getting to just explore the incredible landmarks and this beautiful city at the height of the Renaissance. It's just so much fun. There are times that I won't even do a quest. I'll just get on a horse and I'll just stroll through the city. And it looks amazing. So that's why it's my favorite. Colton, I'm sorry. Jack, what's your first question?
Are there any new abilities or assassination skills that you get in here that you haven't had in the other games?
Not really. I think the things that are new are just like the armor and like one or two new weapons that you can get. But for the most part, the assassination abilities are still the same. The only difference is you're already starting off as like a master assassin, so you basically just remembering all the skills you got. But there's nothing really like new as far as like new abilities. Not as far as I know. All right, so Mike, what's your first question?
Well, I know in the first game, Ezio kind of goes from very much a kind of a childish teenager almost to where he ends up as kind of where Brotherhood starts.
Mhm.
How do you think Brotherhood progresses Ezio's storyline?
I think it progresses it perfect. I think it progresses it very well. Obviously, the Assassin's Creed 2 takes place over like a 20-year period of his life. He goes from like being, I don't know, 15, 16 to like almost to his early 40s or late 30s, early 40s. And I think it takes place in like 1 year really, but I think it progresses him real well. He starts off this game being like a respected veteran assassin to becoming basically the leader of the Brotherhood, and I think it's done very well in it. The lessons he learns, the heartbreak he goes through, there's still a little bit in there, and I think it's done very well. Colton, do you have another question?
Yeah. So Assassin's Creed Brotherhood comes with a multiplayer portion. Did you play it? And if you did, what'd you think of it?
All right, here's the thing. I don't care for multiplayer at all, especially in games like this. I play them for the single player campaign. I couldn't care less about multiplayer. So
Okay,
no, I have not.
let me change my question then. All right. Like I've asked a couple other times, do you have a favorite story beat in the game?
Mm, Truth be, no, not I. There's not one that like stood out above the rest. I think they were all equally well done. There wasn't really one that like stood out as like really good above the rest. Although I'll admit, seeing your old rival Duccio show up again and getting to beat the shit out of him, that was fun. I did get a little enjoyment out of beating that prick up, and then tossing him in the river. So yeah, sorry if that wasn't a good enough answer.
No, that works. That's good.
All right, Jack, do you have another question?
Yeah, there's a lot of normally in these games you meet a lot of historical figures. Or is any of them in it that are your favorite?
Well, the problem there is, although he wasn't in the main story, he came from a DLC, and that was Copernicus, who was the first one to propose the heliocentric theory, which at the time, if you know your history at the time, was not very well accepted. It was almost seen as sacrilegious against Jesus and Christianity. And I enjoyed his interactions, however brief he had, with Ezio, because you learn, at least in this game, he's a former Templar. And if you know Assassin's Creed, Assassins and Templars don't get along very well. But I like how Ezio gives him a fair chance once he learns that. And even though Ezio is a God-fearing man, he's also open-minded to this idea that, the sun is the center of the universe and not the earth like he was taught. So I like the fact how he respects Copernicus's views, and I like how he encourages him, hey, continue looking for evidence to support this. I'll stand by you. You're right to do that. So I thought that was well done. Mike, do you have another question?
Yeah. One thing I really, really liked about Assassin's Creed 2 is the fact that you can go from like one city to another city, and you can even make your own city. And each city kind of has its own different feel and different kind of style.
Mhm.
One thing that I wasn't a bit as big of a fan about in Brotherhood was the fact that it does take it's pretty much all in Rome.
Mhm.
How do you feel about the switch from multiple different settings into just the one setting?
I thought it was an improvement over the second one. I was not a fan of going from like different cities. I like the fact that it was in one city, and the fact that it was Rome, just such a significant city and such a city I love so much that I want to visit, and that made it perfectly fine. I like the fact that I was stuck in one city, but it's a big city, so I'm still able to explore, get that open world feel to it. But I didn't have a problem with it. In fact, like I said, I thought it was an improvement over the second one. All right, Colton, do you have a final question?
Um, hmm. Did you? So when this game, well, spoiler warning, I guess, but the ending of the game, what did you think of that?
You mean the Desmond killing
Like the very,
Lucy?
very end, where Desmond, and Lucy, that. So, did that affect your enjoyment of the game, or?
Um, a little bit, if for no other reason than I kind of liked Lucy. I've never really been one of those people that hated Desmond as much. I know a lot of people seem to hate Desmond and they hate it when they cut back to him. I never really had much of a problem with him, and I was always hoping that that at some point to see Desmond and Lucy hook up. And the way they ended her like that, and then revealed what she was in the next game, it's like, really? You're
It
gonna
sounds like
do
they
that?
didn't want to pay Kristen Bell
I was not a
anymore.
fan of that. I was not a fan of that.
Retcon.
Oh, did they retcon it at some point?
No,
It
no,
sounds like
no.
they didn't want
it's
to pay Kristen Bell or something like that.
Yeah,
No,
maybe.
no, but them like in the third one revealing that about that just felt like retcon to me. It's like, oh well,
Yeah.
we wanted to kill her, but we have to give her a reason, so now she's a bad guy. Whatever.
Yeah. I thought that was weak. But I don't know. Maybe Kristen Bell was demanding too much money. I don't know behind the scenes story of it. But yeah,
I like
to answer
Desmond
your
as
question,
well. I mean, he's voiced by Nolan North. You can't go wrong with him.
no, of course not. All right, Jack, do you have a final question?
Yeah, what's your favorite level in the game?
See, again, there's really not so much levels in this game. Again, it's more like you progress from one mission to another, so there's not so much levels. I thought it was kind of interesting where the part that I found most enjoyable was when Ezio was trying to sneak into the Colosseum, and they're doing a play about the crucifixion resurrection of Jesus. I thought that one seemed to get a little enjoyment out of me above the others. And then anything having to do with Bartolomeo, I love that guy. So anything having to do with his missions, that was fun. So yeah, I had fun with the Bartolomeo missions. All right, Mike, do you have a final question?
Not so much a final question as much as do check out Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. It's a different style, but it's a massively open world. They took everything that they learned from the first bunch and they just broadened it out big time. The world is so much bigger than in Assassin's Creed 2, 3, and 4.
All right, I mean, I'm debating if I want to play 4 because I heard that was just so good.
4 is a lot of fun. 4 is a lot of fun.
All right, so if I do that, then I'll probably visit Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla, all that. All right, guys, so that is going to wrap up episode 166 of our show. This was a lot of fun talking about games as usual. Colton, thank you very much for being here. I know you got to go to work soon, so thank you for sticking around.
I was glad I was able to join this one.
Jack, thank you as well for being here.
It was great to talk about Spider-Man.
Hey, I don't blame you for that. And Mike, thank you for being here as well.
Always glad to be hang out with you guys.
All right, we'll see you guys next week, hopefully, for when we discuss our number 2 favorite games. We hope to see you there. Until then, have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.